Welcome everyone to another episode of On the Block with Jen. You can reach me on all social media platforms on the Block with Jen. Good to see you. Happy Friday. Glad you're here. We made it. We made it another week, so we have to be grateful no matter what's going on. Everybody didn't make it today. Everybody didn't make it through the week. There's so many people that didn't make it to Friday. So if you're here, pat yourself on the back. Okay, it's not as bad as you think it is. You are here with us. And thank you for being here with us. If you want to support the show, you guys know my Cash App is also on the block with Jen. There it is floating on the bottom. Or you can super chat me. Tonight's going to be a nice, easy, light night. Let me tell you, it's slow news week. Slow news week. This is why I'm choosing this Carlee thing. Couple layers to the Carlee thing, believe it or not, and we will dissect. No Saint, let the people know where to find you, sir.
Sure. Find me here on the Block with Jen. Find me at Saint No Saint on all Instagram, YouTube, and Threads. That's really short and simple and sweet.
Okay.
Please subscribe, though. I really would appreciate it. We're going to have a lot of stuff going up here soon, so
yes, we
going to be a lot of fun coming up this next week.
Yes, it is. Quite the adventure. We're all going to be together. The block will be under the same roof for a week. And we are going to record it all for you guys. So we will be meeting in person. We will be recording it all for you guys.
Kind of like the real world. Except we know each other through these machines, as Jen likes to say. But it's kind of like the real world, putting us all under one roof, coming from different places.
Yeah, this is gonna be quite interesting. Kind of like the real world, even though we got to know each other online. We will all be seeing each other in person for the first time, except for Lily and I, because Lily and I did meet one time. She flew out to hang out with me. So it's gonna be interesting. You guys get to be a fly on the wall because we're gonna give you all the content. We got a lot of stuff coming up while we're in that house. So it's gonna be quite interesting. No, Saint, do you have any fluff? Because if you don't, I do.
Fluff. So there it is a slow news week.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I don't have anything prepared tonight.
Okay.
But stay tuned. There's stuff coming up.
Okay, well, I got something. Apparently this guy is going viral because the genders are at this, they're at this endless war, right? They're at this endless war. I made a comment earlier on my community tab page on YouTube. I'm like, if it wasn't for women, men wouldn't have, 90% of men on social media wouldn't have content if it wasn't for them complaining about women, right? And then people like, well, no, both genders complain. No. Both genders do complain, but there are myriad more channels of men talking about how horrible women are than there are women channels talking about how horrible men are. Like in these spaces, Cynthia G?
Mm-hmm.
Against like hundreds of men all saying the same crap. So it's like, I think men should be more grateful for women, because had it not been for women, they would have zero content, because what would they talk about then, right? If not us.
Sports.
Why don't they do it, No Saint?
Not everybody can do it. I'm going to say something real quick. I don't know what kind of trickery you're pulling there with that shirt, but I'm getting lost in the center of your chest because of that, the design.
Look at the star. Look at the star. Look at the star. No Saint.
It just draws you in. All those different. I'm like, whoa! What kind of optical illusion is going on here?
I'm hypnotizing people tonight. No. Super chat, Cash App. If you keep staring at it, it just says Cash App. So this guy is going quite viral. What's up, Necessary Evil? She says, I'm sneaking in right quick, but I just wanted to bring to light how many men are following AI females on IG, moving from women they can't get to women that don't actually exist. That's funny.
Scary, though.
That's funny.
She brings that up. I don't want to... she brings that up, but it's so weird. There's a game out there with AI, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's guess if it's AI or if it's a person. And it gives you 2 minutes or something of chatting with it. And from what I heard on the radio, they were talking about on Howard Stern. the
Mhm.
guy was saying it's really tough to tell because like
I'm
one
sure.
one of the AIs was like misspelling words or the grammar was off and then saying show me your dick and things like that. Oh, that's a person and it's AI.
Right.
That's
Oh my
crazy.
god. Tristan
Yeah.
is all for it. Oh my. Yeah, it's gonna get harder and harder to tell. And come on, you're dealing with a population that's not too bright as it is.
I just thought it was really funny that it went to the show me your dick or, and started going into
Oh,
sex talk and you're thinking, oh, this is a human for sure,
yeah. No, no. But again, these
Even if it
things are
was a
being
guy, it could have been a guy messing with you. I
right, of
mean,
course.
yeah, you would think, oh, that might be a guy messing with me, because girls usually don't go to
Yeah,
that.
hit the like on the way in, thank you, or if you're lurking, gracias. Yeah, Andrew Tate, he had that phone sex farm, and he said it was him talking to men sometimes because he got frustrated the women weren't doing it or not doing it fast enough. But he didn't have full staff, and he was talking to the men. So the men were probably beating off to Andrew Tate. You know, you just never know. You just never know. Um, Let me put this on subs really quickly because I don't like the people just sneaking in and talking and leaving, right? They could leave me a little courtesy subscribe at the very least. At the very least, it's not that hard. You can like and subscribe. Subscribe to a lot of other crap, I'm sure. Okay, so that's on subscribers only. So my fluff tonight. This guy is going viral again. It's the subject of the nice guys finish last. The nice guys finish last. So I'm gonna play this video. No Saint, you tell me what you think. I already have my thoughts quite gathered together here. But this is causing chaos, of course, online because men are saying, see, this is how women are. Of course, they have to generalize. And this guy's saying, hey, I did everything right. And he's pleading to women, what did I do wrong? So here's the guy. Um, I'll let you be the judge, you know what I'm saying? And anyone else in the chat who wants to judge this guy, that is what we're doing tonight. We're judging.
So I just left a restaurant after waiting 30 minutes for a date to show up, and apparently I got stood up. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm trying to do everything right to be a gentleman. I brought flowers. I've been consistent talking with this girl for 2 weeks, trying to get to know what she likes, what she doesn't like. I made plans. I picked the restaurant, the day, and the time. I've done everything to be just the kind of guy that would value somebody's time. Like, I'm just looking for my person. I'm just looking for the one that I guess is out there for me. I mean, I want to be somebody's husband someday, father. I'm trying to do everything that's right, and I just get stood up. Like, my feelings didn't even matter. Sitting there eating a meal by myself and realizing that nobody even cares about people anymore. Like, alien dating shouldn't even be this hard. It shouldn't be this hard to find somebody. It shouldn't be this difficult to fall in love. To kind to one another. Like, what? Ladies, tell me, what did I do wrong?
Well, okay. I felt bad for him at first, but he went on a little bit too long with the little violin going off, and it made me think like, listen, when it first happened, I'm like, yeah, that's wrong. If someone shouldn't just stand somebody up, just go to the date. It could have been a lady that saw him and like, oh, okay, I'm out of here. Maybe it was a blind date. I don't know, but
Mhm.
he really did protest a little bit too much with the soap opera voice.
Mhm.
I don't know what I have to do. Not that. Don't do that.
Mhm.
Everybody's felt that way though. I think everybody's felt
Yeah,
that way at one time or another. Like,
sure,
damn, man, I'm a
sure.
nice guy, or I'm a good looking one. What's going on here? I just want to, but yeah, that was sad. That's not a good look for the guy.
All right, and we will dissect. The chat is going to Tristan says, how about he clean his damn glasses? Misty saying, is he crying? Yes, I believe he was getting a little shaky there. Trish says that lady dodged a fucking bullet.
Yeah.
Akari said he's trying to be a comedian, but I think this was sincere. So you listen. So I'm watching this guy, right? A couple things I didn't like. First of all, he's asking, what did he do wrong? I think the number one thing he did wrong was, more than likely he was fishing out of his dating pool, right? So I think what he did wrong was just bait fish you can catch. Looking at that man, right? Not my type, but I can tell you, I can run off 5 women that I know personally, not in my immediate circle, but women that I've met along the way that would match great with him and would take him.
Mhm.
Would take him immediately. They're looking for someone, they're single, you know what I mean? And they would match and they would take him immediately. I feel like a lot of these guys are entitled. I don't think anyone is entitled to attraction, right? Now, I don't know if this woman stood him up. I don't know if she died in a car accident. I don't know if she saw him and was like, whoa, no, I'm out of here. He looked different on Facebook.
Right.
I have no idea what it was. And we can easily say, well, no one should be stood up. But it's like, yeah, there are rude people in the world. There are rude people
Yeah.
in the world.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it was wrong if that's if what he said happened, that was wrong. Like, getting ready, he went out and got flowers, even though he probably shouldn't have got the rose. He probably should have got, that's more like for a love thing. Not, you can get flowers, but red, that's kind of, but anyway, yeah. So, I mean, that's what I felt bad about, is like, he thought he was going to go out and have a date. And then if what he said is true, she just didn't stand. I mean, you could, if she really didn't want to go out with him, then she probably shouldn't have let him on like that. But that happens, like you said, that can happen out there, and there's same things can happen bad with women can get stood up like that as well.
Yeah,
so I mean, yeah, and you're right, but to come online and start whimpering like that's something like, I'm not saying like I said before, people do that. But I would do it with somebody over the phone or somebody, and they can sit there and listen to you and yeah, I've been there, man. I've been able to do it online. It looks awful.
I think there's a thin line between someone being hurt and manipulation. Here's the thing. If he is that, let's say he is that emotional about being stood up, that man should not be looking for a date. He's not prepared to date. Things go wrong with us, right? All the time, right? If getting stood up made him that emotional, then he's not emotionally in a place, I feel, where he should even be dating. Because if that broke you up, like, usually men would laugh that off,
Right.
call their boys and be like, yo, this bitch stood me up. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, where you guys at? I'll meet you at the bar or whatever. He's standing there whimpering and crying. I just don't think he's emotionally well to go out there and date, because you have to put on your big boy pants or your big girl pants, because shit is going to happen. People are going to hurt you. People are going to be disrespectful. People are going to be rude, right? And he's not a child. Now, I understand a child, a 5-year-old, like, my friend was supposed to come play with me and they didn't come play with me. Now I don't got no one to play with. Then I get it. So his emotional state just didn't look safe to me. Also, it seemed to me like he's trying to barter good behavior to get a woman. I didn't like how that sounded. Like, I bought these roses, I'm really nice. Sounds like that's not really him, right? If you're nice, if you're truly a nice person, that's how you're gonna move and shake. But it sounded like, hey, I did X, Y, and Z because I thought I was gonna be rewarded with X, Y, and Z. Then that's not really you, right? Also, I don't know why men are so stuck with this roses shit, getting flowers on the first date. Don't fucking buy flowers on a first date. It is awkward for you and her. There's no vase. What's she gonna do? Put them on the table? They're gonna be dying. If you want to take a woman roses, do it when she invites you to her home.
I mean, that's kind of what I was saying. The roses were a little bit too much. I mean, roses. I'm saying you can get some flowers if you want, but we live in a world where that's what they teach guys to do, like The Bachelor. I mean, it's all about The Bachelor. Everybody, we're seeing let me give you this rose and, take you out and try
I
to
mean,
be
even
this.
cartoons, since we were little, the cartoon is holding the flowers behind his back and then like bing.
Yeah. So it's like, and that's what's crazy. It's like, man, listen, The Bachelor has somebody making him up, dressing him up. They're paying for everything. They're making that ambiance.
Yep.
And then the girls are there to get it. Most of the time are there to get exposure too, but they'll play along with the game, but yeah, it was awkward. And not just that, I agree with you. That's why I said he went on a little bit too long. It sounded like, even if he's not like he's trying to manipulate women on who's ever watching him.
Right.
And maybe, I would like a man like you, or hey, I'll go out with you. That's what it sounded like. It was just like, it's a little bit too much.
I know he was trying to get sympathy, but it sounded, honestly, to me, it sounded manipulative. It sounded like entitlement. Like, you're supposed to like me. Also, what threw me off when he's like, why does it have to be this hard? Well, that's fucking life. Why shouldn't it be hard? Why should you go out on a first date with a bouquet of roses and a woman should fall in love with you and then you sail off into the sunset? It doesn't work like that for anybody. I don't care who you are or what walk of life you come from, rich, broke, fat, skinny, whatever. It doesn't matter. Life is hard. The first person we meet is not the first person. It's like, oh my God, it's me and you forever. Let's say a lot. No, life is hard. You live, you learn, you lose, you get your heart broke, you break somebody's heart. He's like, why does it have to be this hard? Because that's life, which again falls under, to me, entitlement. Like, I'm out here. I came out here to see this woman. This was supposed to work out. She was supposed to like me and everything was supposed to be great. That's entitlement. If a woman said that, men would say, you're entitled. You're being entitled.
Yeah. And another thing is, when he said, why does it have to be so hard? And then he follows up by saying, I'm just looking for basically my soulmate.
Right. He wants to be a husband and a father.
Yeah, I'm looking at, but listen, that should be something, like you said, that you shouldn't go in thinking this is the one. I mean, if it is the one, then you'll find out eventually if it's the one. But yeah, it really seemed like he was. And I mean, listen, I don't know how old or young the guy is, but when you're young, we know
he's not a teenager. We know
he's not. But when you're young, you are looking. That's what you think it's all about. Like, I'm going to meet my soulmate. Somebody's just for me. Fireworks are going to fly. I'm going to bring So yeah, But yeah, that was pretty bad. That was pretty bad. And he didn't have to eat the meal by himself, be honest with you.
No.
He could have been hungry. I would have just said, oh, well, I guess I could save some money and go home.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. When I started here, why does it have to be this hard? What all you did was take a shower, throw a shirt on, buy a bouquet of roses, and you went to a restaurant. You know what's hard? You know what's hard in life? Like, that's not hard, buddy. Like, you just went out and you got yourself a meal. Now you go home, turn on the TV and do what you do, whatever night that was. So it didn't pull at my heartstrings. I didn't, I wasn't like, oh my, because it happens. It happens. And a lot worse than that. People get ghosted all the time. You know what I mean? It happens. It sounded like entitlement to me. Carlee said he brings flowers, but he brings a vase too, but not on the first date. I just think flowers are nice. If a woman invites you over, when I'm invited over to like a friend's house, right? Like a married couple, I always bring the wife flowers. That's my thing. I bring the wife flowers. She's cooking dinner for us, whatever. I bring flowers. So bring flowers when you're invited to someone's home, because it's just awkward. You're walking around with the flower. She got to hold it. Where do you put it? It's in the car or whatever. It's all, do not bring flowers on a fucking first date. I don't know why you guys keep doing that. And this guy did that to me one time. He fucking brought flowers in a box of like chocolates. And I was like,
for a prom, it's okay.
For a prom, it's okay, yes, but again, we're talking about children, and she's gonna put
I'm just laughing. I might have said this story before, but I was there was a lady I liked when I was early 20s, and she was into like the goth. She wore the black and everything like that. So I sent her
living dangerously.
I sent her roses painted black, or I'm buying those things from damn near killing people with the fumes coming off those roses.
Oh my God, no, see.
Giving people headaches and stuff.
That's terrible. I actually painted a rose black before too. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yes. They will paint them black for you. That's hilarious. Tristan said, my father never taught me that because some women do not like flowers. And if she doesn't like flowers, you're showcasing to her how much you are really paying attention to her. That's true. Like, it's not a one-stop shop. Like, there's some women that do not like flowers because they don't like to see them like die. You know what I mean? It's like leave them in the ground. Like, everybody's different. And some people like a certain type of flower, and then some women are allergic. It's just to get away from the shit that you've been seeing in cartoons and in rom-coms your entire life. That's not real life. Okay, it's not real. It worked in the Notebook. It's not real life.
Will you accept this rose?
No, I will not, sir. Can I eat my steak?
That's what he was sounding like. Would you accept this rose? With his voice. Little
like,
soap opera voice.
Why does it have to be this hard? Okay, because that's life.
But see, that's what I'm saying. It's like the romantic things out there. Anything romantic, soap operas, the guy always talks like this. But you don't understand.
You sound like the Baldwins.
When I first saw your eyes, I knew we were in love.
Yeah, all the Baldwins talk like that, all of them. Alex, Steven, Billy. Yeah, so that thing is going viral and is causing quite a stir.
That's going viral.
Listen, it's another opportunity, because it's another opportunity for men to bash women, right? They don't even know if this woman died in a car accident. They have no idea.
Right. No, yeah, you're right.
You don't know where she is or what's happening, right? But men have taken, yet again, the opportunity to bash women, saying, see, that's how women are. See, when a man is nice, then you do X, Y, and I'm like, they have no idea what's going on. But it's like what I spoke about yesterday. They look for any moment. They can just bash women and say, see, I told you. And again, I think it's a red flag when someone is announcing how nice they are. I think it's a red flag.
I think it's a red flag. Oh, well, they're getting loud back there.
Yeah, you?
No,
okay.
Kids.
Okay. Kari said, when I first saw the video, I was waiting for the punchline because it was from his account, which ends with comedian. Then I realized he was dead serious. Well, I went to his Instagram page. He doesn't look like much of a comedian. Like, he doesn't look like, it looked like maybe he's trying. He also looks kind of slow too.
Yeah, that left eye wasn't helping.
Yeah, it wasn't, So I was like, which eye should I feel sorry for?
That's right.
This one. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. POP says dating seems awkward as fuck these days. Well, it always was. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's awkward when you don't know how to pick up on social cues. Because again, I spoke about it yesterday. I'm like, I speak to a lot of guys, some of my male friends, and they'll ask me advice about a woman they're seeing. And I'm like, she's not feeling you. She's not feeling you. And I speak from experience because I know how I behave when I'm not feeling a guy. And I'm like, how did you not pick that up? Like, when a woman is into you, she's into you, right? And of course, women lie and manipulate, and they're conniving and scheming. But you have to think to yourself, even that, do I have something that this woman wants from me? If you do not, then you're kidding yourself. Because usually women are scheming and manipulative and conniving when there's some sort of resource that you have that she wants, be it money, network, connection, maybe a certain celebrity, maybe you have a job. So ask yourself, like, have self-awareness. I'm shocked sometimes at how much men don't have self-awareness. You really have to think, this woman is into me. What do I have? Because women are hypergamous, right? They look for opportunity, protector, provider, good father, whatever. If you are none of those things, if you're not offering any of those things, you have to understand that she's there for another reason. It's like there's no self-awareness. And when these guys tell me these stories, I'm like, dude, she's not into you. That's why she didn't do this. And that's why she didn't return the call. And that's why she doesn't text. When we are into a man, we let that man know. We are giggling. We're playing with our hair. Everything is funny. We're biting our lip. We like that. You know what I mean? So I'm like, you have to have self-awareness. But then again, that's why dating coaches are on the rise, because they're quote unquote teaching men the nature of women. And I'm like, don't learn the nature of women, learn self-awareness. Be self-aware. You know if you're attractive or not. You know if you got money or not. You know if you're a good catch or not. Like you must know these things. You got to know. The same way you tell women you're average at best, you're overweight, you're this, I don't like your hair, you know what I mean, your tits are small. You're at the same way you guys are always attacking what women look like. You have to turn that mirror on yourself. Because I don't know. And this has been going on for years and years and years, me talking to my male friends. And I'm like, that chick's not into you. You can't tell?
The best way, I'm telling you, I have to send you a clip too. We watched a little bit of this a couple of nights ago, but the best are the 90 Day Fiance.
Oh, yeah.
Those dudes, and sometimes the women, but those dudes are clueless on social cues. They have no clue. It is entertainment. It is very entertaining.
That's a great tip. You guys want to see someone, because maybe they have to see it, not be in it. If you want to see it, if you want to be a fly on the wall of women and men that are just not into another person and just trying to get them for something, a resource or something, you don't have to be rich for someone to try to use you as a resource. You just have to have more than them. You don't have to be wealthy. You just have to have more than them. Watch 90 Day Fiance and watch Love After Lockup. That shit is no self-awareness and manipulation on steroids. It is crazy. Like, I'm watching them. The women are really like, and you can tell by how a woman treats you. You know where else I've seen that blatantly? T.I. and Tiny, their reality show, their family reality show. T.I. very much acts like that with Tiny. Like, he'll freeze up when she's trying to touch him. You have to know your body, and you have to know social cues, and you have to know body language. Like, you can tell he's not her type. She's the wifey. She's the one that holds him down. And every time she's trying to like stop or hug him, like, he stiffens up. He never reciprocates the affection. You never see him initiating a hug or grabbing or playing with her hair or her hand. When a man is into you, he likes to touch you or hug you or whatever, right? There are some men that are not affectionate. To hell with y'all. But when a man is into you, he's going to hold your hand. He's going to hug you. He's going to play with your hair. He's going to make it known, I'm here with her. This is mine, right? So you just guys watch Love After Lockup and 90 Day Fiance, because that shit is horrible with lack of self-awareness and people manipulate. It's just, I'm like, yo, she's there. And the guy will all be like, so what else you want me to do? Like, it's like, let me tell you, I don't want to be here. I don't want it. Why you put my sandwich like that? I don't want my sandwich like that. I don't do my sandwich like that. Like, listen, when a woman is into you, she'll take a slice of bread. And it'll be
I saw one where the daughter was like, did you bring my mom a gift? Oh yeah. And the guy was like, oh yeah, my mom said I had to bring a gift, so this is from my mom, and it was a purse. She's like, there's no money in that. In our culture, there's money in the purse. And she doesn't speak English, the mom, and he doesn't speak Spanish. It was just crazy.
Let me tell you, when women are not into a man, but still like in their world or in a relationship with them, they're nasty bitches. They are. And that's why I tell men all the time, like, men think that they can cheat and the woman's going to, I say this all the time, and she's going to forgive you and you guys are going to go back to, you are literally in a relationship with a different woman. And you're still thinking like, oh, my wife forgave me, my girlfriend forgave me. Yay, it's going to be, you are understand that someone came down, the aliens came down, took her brain out, the one that loved you and would do anything for you, switched it with the brain of another woman, the woman that you cheated on, and it's a whole different animal in your house. And what's fucked up is that because men aren't self-aware and they don't understand social cues, from the outside, it looks like the same person, but it is literally like a horror movie when people die and they bring them back and then the person starts killing everybody because they have no soul. It's the same thing. It's like you brought the person back, but it's not the same person before the death. And getting cheated on and betrayed is a death. And that's what men don't understand. But you can pick that up. I've seen relationships, and I pick that up a lot online too. Like when a guy's going out of his way to talk about a woman on his social media, I'm like, he fucking cheated. I can tell the relationships.
Oh, yeah.
I can tell the relationships that are overcompensating. Like, look, I'm with her now. I can always tell somebody found something or something. You can tell. But guys, you have to just be more self-aware. And I guarantee, let me tell you something, without knowing much about that situation with the crying guy, I guarantee if I sat and watched both of them, I can tell she ain't into this dude. And again, we don't know what happened. We don't know if she saw him and was like, oh, or she just said, to hell with that. The guy I'm really into just called. Because women will do that. Women are like that. So I'm not denying everything men say about women. Women can be some very vindictive, vicious bitches. Very manipulative, and you won't know, right? Because you guys are either thinking about getting ass, or being with someone you think is attractive. But listen, I've heard it one too many times from my male friends. One too many times. I'm like, dude. And we always do have this floating roster too. Women always have a floating roster. There's always some guy that's hot at work. There's always some guy that's hot at the gym who has said 2 or 3 things. So we do. That's another thing. It's a harsh reality. I know guys aren't going to want to hear it, but there's always like this floating. It's like an iCloud. Like there's always this roster that's floating. There's the guy at the gym, the guy at work. You know what I mean? So it's like that's another thing.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this guy, if this was the first, well, let's say he said it was the first, they were supposed to go on this first date. He invested time, blah, blah, blah. So they had a date set up, right? And maybe she intended on going, this is just speculation, but maybe she intended on going on that date. And then one of these, what Jen is saying, floating roster guys that she really was into called and said, hey, I got tickets to this concert. You want to go? Hell yeah. Bam, I'm out of here. I mean, and let's be honest, guys, if we had that same ability, we would do the same thing. If someone said, if I'm about to go out with a woman and, hey, I'm going to go see a movie, and then there's another woman out there and she says, hey, I got tickets to the basketball game. All right. And I really like her a lot.
I got courtside.
Right. I really like her a lot. And this other person was going to be a date. You do the same thing. We're just, so we can't act like women are somehow, we're so much better or more decent, because we do the same thing with the same options. And that's just the truth. You can call me whatever you want, but I'm just being honest with you.
Yeah, it really is all about the options. It's just that women tend to have more options on average. Don't listen to the red pill and the manosphere and all of it. Women tend to have more options, even the average at best ones. Sorry, guys. It's a harsh reality. I know you don't want to hear it, but even the average at best woman usually has more options than you. It's just easier for women to get laid, like whatever. And it doesn't matter.
Facts. I mean, I don't know what guy doesn't know that, though.
Because they
except for the very top guy that has no problem at all. The
right. But the thing is that
guy or whatever. But
men are more into rom-com than women. I'm telling you, a lot of things that women got blamed for, social media exposed men for being that, right? So in their head, they think that women, we're all chasing a ring and marriage and things like that. Because if I say women have more options, they can get laid more often and easier. What a man will say is, but they don't wife you, but they're not going to marry you. And you have to understand that women like sex and attention just as much as men do.
Let me say something. I thought this was hilarious today. So as you know, I went and got my petty mani. I don't know if I should be getting that online, but okay. I went and got a pedicure and a manicure. And so I'm sitting next to a couple of women. Didn't look over, didn't know what they looked like, but they were just, they were older. One lady was married 30 years, and another lady. Anyway, she was asking like, oh yeah, you were and somehow it came up, are you going to get married? She was like, no. She's like, why would I? She's like, I'm free to do what I want. Da, da, da. I mean, everything you talk about on here, she was saying. She was like, sometimes, and it was hilarious because, now that I've been hearing this for a while on here, I'm just listening to what these two women are talking about, not really wanting to get into a dedicated. I have my own place. My kids are out. I'm free. Basically, the word she used was, I'm free. So I was like, there you go, I thought that was pretty interesting, though, that I'm just sitting there and, You won't hear this at a sports bar, but you'll hear it in a nail shop.
Oh, and at the beauty salon. Yes, you will. I keep trying to tell people that, but I'm telling you, men are under the delusion that everything with a vagina is looking for a ring. And listen, don't take my word for it. Again, that's why women file first. They want to be free of that situation, of that bond, of that marriage. The statistics, forget me, forget Jen. Go Google the statistics. Right? You guys like numbers. It's 80. It was 75%. Now it's 80%. You think it's going to decline? Women, I'm telling you, and now we got these masseuses, and they're massaging these women no matter what the women look like, no matter what the women look like. If they could pay that masseuse is in there with the oil, and she's naked and he's damn near naked. And I'm telling you, I can imagine to a lot of these women, this massage once a month feels better than me catering and taking care of a whole man and a whole husband. Because again, it's a job. It is a job. So when the kids are gone, it's like, get married again for what? I'm free. My kids are out. I don't want, and I've been hearing that more and more often. But as long as these guys think that, you just want to ring, you want to be married. Okay, stay there. Stay on that street. And good luck. Stay on that street. Good luck. Because even the women that want to get married are filing for divorce. So it's a lose-lose for men. Even the ones that are chasing the ring. Let's talk about the ones that are chasing the ring. That's just you. All these other women here want to get married. And then they want to get divorced. But they don't want to listen. Yeah, they want to get married. And then 80% of the time they want to get divorced. That's a staggering number.
Because a lot of times, listen, guys, we're depending on how you grew up, if you grew up, what kind of family you grew up in and things, the way you look at marriage, the way guys look at marriage, and we see it through, media has a big influence on everybody. So we see things through the media and through the 1950s, which everybody says, oh, that was the good old days of marriage, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, guys definitely want that relationship because it comes with being catered to. And, women, I know Jen talks about in her culture, and it's true, Latinas, they do tend to play that role. They grow up in that role, but that's work. And eventually, if you're not reciprocating something of value back,
right,
that's going to get old. And so, of course, guys want that. They want the woman to submit. They want the, their house clean and the dinner made. But that, that's not necessarily always fun for a woman to do for a guy. And especially if, like Jen says, they come home and you're watching the game or, yeah. So that's why women are walking away. And you got to understand that when they're saying I'm free, that's how much work when they're cleaning house. They're keeping everything organized. It gets, and if you're not pulling your weight, it gets really old. And why do they need you? They can do it by themselves. They can do everything they're doing by themselves, and they can still get laid if they want to get laid. They can still have a boyfriend, just not living with them.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Justin says, oh, come on, Jen, most of the options are undesirable, which is why there's so many angry, sexist guys. Women aren't exercising those options. Obviously they are if men are getting stood up and women are getting divorced at the rate they are. I don't know. Yo no sé. What? Oh my, Beckatron said Jen's playing devil's advocate to paint men in not just desperate, but a delusional position. Let me tell you, there's delusions on both sides. There's delusions on both sides, and everybody's covering it up. But there's delusions on both sides. The men are delusional, and women are delusional as well. However, here's you don't pay attention. Men are delusional, women are delusional. However, women are still filing for divorce at 80%. Right? So it doesn't matter. This one's delusional. It's still at the end of the day. Women want out of the marriage at the end of the day. So who has the upper hand? Do we not hear men at nauseum talk about women have the upper hand? They're the ones that get the alimony, the child support, and what have you.
Yeah, and I don't know what Justin thinks about this, and I'm sure in his position, the way, he talks, he probably is not in this position, but many men, I would say the majority of men are codependent with women.
Yes.
They need women more than women need men.
I said that. Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Mr. Justin in the beginning, yeah. He says nope, they don't want to be bonded. They don't want to be bonded to the guy. Most dudes are subpar males. You know, it's in the beginning, like women we work on whimsy, right? And that's why in the beginning it's such a fairy tale, and we feel it's exciting when you call and text and we're telling our girlfriends, oh my God, this is the one. Or we work on fucking whimsy. And then we get bored. Then we get tired of you. And that's why I said before, and I like the comment that Omar Vegatron said before, I don't remember it verbatim, but basically learn to manipulate with her best interest or her favorite interest in mind, because women are like that. We like to be kept on our toes. But this is the advice that these coaches aren't giving you, right? They're telling you the nature of a woman is that, it's just like, and they just send you out there and you still don't know what the fuck you're doing. So then you go to another podcast and complain there. Then you go to another one and complain there. Then you go to another one and complain there. And you're still sexless and you're still single, right? The shit that you should be doing, you don't fucking do. If you're not going to work out, if you're not going to go and make yourself fucking rich, then you must have balance. You must keep her on her toes. And that doesn't take money or a fucking hot body. But you have to do one of the three. You must. It is imperative. Either you're going to go get a hot body, because we forgive a lot if you have a six-pack. Oh, do we? Or you're going to get rich, because we forgive a lot when you say, okay, bitch, I did that, but I want to take you to Hawaii for your birthday. Okay? Or third, you just have three choices, man. It's very simple. It's very simple. Either you're going to be hot to look at or wealthy, or if you can't accomplish any of those two, you must have balance. You have to be funny. You have to be exciting. You have to be spontaneous. You have to be a serious guy and a good provider and a good man. But then you have to choke her up every now and then, rip off her panties, tell her you want to fuck her in the car, in the movie theater. You must have balance. You have to have one of those three things. Everybody else is blowing smoke up your ass. Everybody else is fucking lying to you. Everybody else is charging for the three things. Take it from a woman. And I'm not bullshitting you, because I just told you women are manipulative. They're conniving. They're sneaky. They're hypergamous. They're always looking to better deal you. Oh, what if the boss likes her at her job? You're fucked. But if the guy that owns the gym likes her, then you're fucked. Right? I told you, we always have that rotation. It's in the iCloud. We may not go up there and reach, but it's there, right? And that's just the stone cold truth. Sorry, guys. That is how women operate. Sorry. I hate that for you, but that's how women are. That's how women are. So sharpen one of those three things. Either you're going to be hot, you're going to be rich, or you're going to have balance for days, okay? And I've dated those three guys. So they exist. It's very possible not to be a looker and not have money and have balance, or just to be a wealthy guy, or just to be the muscular guy. All those three guys are great, but you have to be one of them. You can't be, why is it so hard? I bought flowers and I was waiting for 3 and I had to eat by myself. That's not going to work. Nobody gives a fuck that you're nice. Nobody cares. What is nice going to do for a woman? Is it going to fuck her good? Is it going to pay her bills? Is it good to look at? None of the above. Nice is none of the above. Nice is none of those three things I told you y'all got to be. Look, I'm giving y'all free game.
And I mean, nice is relative to what's going on. He could be nice on a first date. He could be nice to try to get this person's attention, but you don't know if that nice is going to last under pressure. So, and not just that, but there are plenty of guys that work out that are nice.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean everybody that works out or it has to be a jerk. And there are plenty
Yeah.
of rich guys that are nice.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, they could afford to be jerks if they wanted to be, but
Yeah.
you can find nice ones.
Absolutely.
So nice is very. Listen, it's great to be nice. I was a nice guy. I think I was a nice guy. I'm pretty sure I'm not. I know I was a nice guy, but what I thought of a nice guy when I was 20, I thought it was a commodity. It really isn't a commodity because most people I think are nice to women. Like if you're interested, you're nice. Now, if you have some flaws, they'll show up later on if you're like a violent person or something like that. But I think most people are, in general, if you like somebody, you're nice.
Yep. And that's the thing that men do have options to attract women and keep women. They're getting the wrong information. It's not in the romance movies. It's not these dudes yelling at you, go to the gym first, sit up straight, fuck it. It's not, you're not gonna get it from there. It's a process, it's a muscle, right? It's a muscle. You have to, you know what I mean, exercise.
Yeah, I mean, I think like people like Mr. Justin and I'm not putting them in the same category as the manosphere guys like Tate,
Right.
but I think like they give you a good foundation. Not especially Mr. Justin, he can give you a good foundation, but it's not like a computer program. See, so he can give you a good foundation, but there's other, like, not everybody responds the same way to that foundation. So yeah, he can give you that good start. But it doesn't mean that that's one size fits all. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So, like for me, I mean, just gotta you gotta figure it out when you're in the relationship. I mean, not everybody's gonna like the type of person you are, but there's a lot of people out there that will. But it's not like, I guess what I'm saying is it's not like a computer program. It's not like do this. Do like Tate or whatever, do this, do that, and you're gonna be successful. That's not how it works.
Absolutely, because you're still, it's just like, that's a great point, no Saint, because it's just like training a boxer, right? Now he's skilled, he is ready for the fight. Now it depends on who the fuck he's fighting.
Yes,
that's how it is. So you can train up a guy and coach him, and now you're great. Now go out there, buddy. And now it depends on what woman he's approaching. It's not a one size fits all. I'm going to teach you this and then you're going to run out there. Sometimes you're going to get rejected. You get stood up. Maybe the girl's just not into you. Maybe she's fixed on this type of person. Maybe she's gay. Maybe she wants to be single. Maybe she doesn't want to be. There's so many different things that could be going on in a woman's head, right? But it's the cookie cutter shit that just gets people all the time, men and women. It's the cookie cutter shit. And then you're in a marriage or a long-term relationship. You're looking at somebody, you're like, I don't want to be here. And unfortunately for men, women exit first.
Yeah. And that's not just in marriage. That's in relationships in general. That's what you can see the writing on the wall in your dating life, that women are much faster to break off a relationship. A guy, it takes like you like to repeat, women know 6 months in advance, and a guy is hit with like a sack of bricks when it happens. Like, what? And then the next 2 or 3 months, if you were in mad love with the women, you're like, I don't understand, you're heartbroken. But so you see, women, it's just, we operate differently. And so in regular relationships, women are normally the first ones to leave. Uh-oh, you're on mute. Okay.
Okay, so I wanted to bring this up because somebody at POP, you brought up Tina Knowles and Richard Lawson. They're getting divorced. They just announced their divorce. It's Beyonce's mother and this actor. I'm not gonna throw it up on the screen or whatever. We're just gonna talk about it really quickly. POP says Beyonce's mother said in an interview about her soon-to-be ex Richard Lawson, "We're having a good time." Right? Translation, this is temporary. Don't get comfortable, bro. But even worse than that, it's a great, great lesson for you men to watch, because it is a great lesson in what I am talking about, okay? And it's this interview here. Hold on.
That I love, and we're having absolutely not.
Okay,
But you know, he has a lot of the qualities. No, he has a lot of the qualities that that I love, and we're having a really good time, and I'm enjoying life. So there is hope, women.
Okay, so I want you to see. I want you to see.
That I love, and we're having a. That is he perfect? Absolutely not.
Okay, listen
But,
to this. This is a lesson in the cues.
Qualities, no. And I wanted, and I got pretty much that. Is he perfect? Absolutely not. But you know, he has a lot of the qualities. No, he has a lot of the qualities that.
Did you guys see that? Did you guys see that? That is a social cue, right? He's got a lot of qualities that I want. Is he perfect? No. And he's like, no. And she's like, no. That's disdain. That's disdain. A normal guy a regular guy would have laughed it off. Like she always talks to me like that. Did you see her roll her eyes? And he said it playfully. She was like, he got a lot of the qualities that I want, blah, blah. Is he perfect? No. And he's like, no. And she's like, no. That's a sign of a woman that's done. She's done. When a woman is in love and a man playfully says, oh, I'm not perfect, be like, no, baby, you know, you be messing up sometimes. Like it's all in here and it's all here. How do you guys not see? How do you not notice this? And this video went viral because everybody else saw how are they just married and this is how she's addressing him. Shit like that you got to pick up on, right? And now what? She filed for divorce. 80% of the time, women want out and they get out. It keeps happening. It keeps happening. I'm telling ya. Mr. Justin, oh yeah, I'm telling you, Mr. Justin, manipulation with her best interest in mind. I like that. It's smart. It's smart. You got a better chance than showing up at first date with a bouquet of roses from the supermarket. Thank you for the super chat, Fahim Jackson. Fahim Jackson says, most women file for finances. Everything that was minor becomes magnified. If you're not guaranteed to be in the top 10%, don't consider marriage. Middle-class men don't have enough leverage today. Well, women don't just file for finances. They file because they want to get away from that man. Because if they were in love with that man and they wanted to stay with that man, they stay with him with $0. I've seen it and I've done it. Now they file and they know the bonus is going to be finances because they're going to get child support and they're going to get alimony. So it's like, yeah, it's a little reward for the divorce. But don't get it twisted. When a woman is in love, she ain't going nowhere.
And I'd push back on child support is a bonus because the amount of work it takes to raise kids, depending on how much child support, I mean, you don't get a whole lot for child support. I mean, it seems like a lot to the guy, but let me tell you something. Anybody who has kids knows how much it costs for everyday day-to-day things. And so the child support is there for that, but the amount of work someone who has the children has to put in if they're good parents is enormous. Now, and not everybody's always guaranteed alimony either. It depends. If the woman makes it, it depends on how much she makes. She makes a certain amount of money, she gets less alimony. She makes more money, she doesn't get alimony. It goes to the guy. So it sounds good that it's a reward, but it really sometimes, I mean, if the guy's rich, if the guy's rich, it's going to be quite a bit of money, but normally
that's where I'm thinking, right? But I do agree with Fahim Jackson when he says middle-class men don't have enough leverage. I do agree. If you're living check to check, I wouldn't recommend marriage. There's a lot of guys now, and the red pill is encouraging this. They're doing like spiritual ceremonies without the government involved and without signing paperwork. Do that. If you know you're just the average Joe and you're living check to check, don't tie your money up where you're going to be fucked and then you can't even move forward. Because I've been on both sides. I've dated guys that had too much fucking child support. It was a burden on our situation. We couldn't do much. I had to put in more money, you know what I mean? Because it's like, no, well, now you got these kids, you got all this child support to fucking pay. So we don't have vacation money and we don't have restaurant money. And that's just basics. I'm not the girl that's asking for diamonds and red bottoms. I'm like, just the basics. Can we go on a fucking vacation annually? We can't do that because of all this child support you're fucking paying, right? So I've been on that side. And it's not cool. I've also experienced a man that, you know, had to take over and had his child come live with him. And you're right, No Saint. He was like, yo, the fucking money that is going out the door since this kid has been here. Right. And then he found out, he was like, oh, that child support ain't shit. And I was like, see?
Yeah, because the older, you know, when they're babies, they don't eat quite as much. The older they get, they eat a lot. They need more things.
They're always in the fucking fridge.
Yes, yes.
Like, close the fucking, get out the fridge. What is it?
Yes, they get really expensive. And so, but, you know, the government makes, I don't know if you ever get middle class or, you know, people think they're middle class, working class or whatever. I don't know if you'll ever get them not to get married because the government wants you to get married and have kids.
No, I think they should get married, but I think I got to agree with the red pill on that. I've heard a couple of guys say it and a couple of guys have done it that I know personally. And I'm like, good.
I understand. And it depends on what state you're in. Some states common law takes over. So it's the same thing. You're going to have to pay. But some states don't, like, you know, some states don't have common law. All I'm saying is they give you breaks. You know, the government will give you breaks to be in a relation, to be married, you know, but
then
in the long run, is it worth
it?
Yeah. In the long run, is it worth it? I don't know.
And then they fuck you in that. Like, the odds are against you. The odds are not in your favor.
Yeah. Well, you're in Vegas.
Right.
The odds are always against you.
Right. Like, it's like the house always wins, bitch. Tristan says we have to stop conflating civility with nice. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because it's like the littlest thing man does, and it's just being a decent human being. Forget being nice to get a date. It's like, I was nice. I'm like, I mean, it's just decent that you went and showed up, took a shower, and showed up for the date. Like, relax, guy. You're not all of a sudden he's Prince Charming and the best catch out there. No, not with that eye going that way and this one going this way. But with that said, there is a woman out there for them, but for those men and for him. Now, is he looking in that pool? Is he going to like the women in that pool? Think about it. If you're a man and you're average at best, because there's average at best women and there's average at best men. If you're a man and you're average at best financially, look-wise, are you going to want a woman that matches you, or are you going to be looking for a woman that's more attractive than that? A lot of men.
You know, this is what I'll say.
You're an outlier. Be quiet.
No. What I'm saying is this. Even a woman that is equally, you know, if you rate them on the 1 to 10 scale, say they're equally rated, right? Say that guy's a 5 and she's a 5. That woman who's a 5 still has more options than you as a 5. So chances of you, like, she could step it up, you know. Yeah, I mean, I the more I see, you know, I mean, listen, there are beautiful women out there with makeup and without makeup. They're still beautiful, right? Mm-hmm. But man, that makeup does a job. To where the person that's on your level is actually with makeup. She's up here. You don't have that advantage. You're down, you know. But so that's where it becomes tricky, because there are plenty of women, you know, that. So man, that's a tough one. Because we all want to be with someone who's attractive.
But you're absolutely right.
You're attracted to, you know, that
right.
You're attracted to.
But you're absolutely right. It is a tough one, because the majority, it's not just women. That's why I laugh at the whole, and you guys know I don't have a beef with Kevin Samuels, but I laugh at the theory that these women want too much and they want men that they're average at best and they want men that's better than them. That's a human condition.
Oh yeah.
That's a human condition. Everybody wants the best, even if they don't have the money. I want the filet mignon. You can't afford the filet mignon, but I want it because it tastes better. And I want, you know what I mean? That is how people are. But I noticed with this guy specifically, the one that got stood up, right? With him specifically, how is it that men know what level they're on when it comes to finances and toys, right? Like that same man would not walk into a Bentley dealership and cry and say that, why does it have to be so hard? Why don't you just give me this car? I deserve this car. He very well knows he cannot walk into a Bentley dealership and walk out with a Bentley, right? He won't even go in there. He won't even go in there. But he thinks he buys some flowers and shows up to a date and he's entitled to not only be somebody's husband, but to love. That's a lot. You show up to a date and you're like, why does life have to be so hard? And I want to be somebody's husband and I want to have children and be somebody's, I want to be a father because you walked into a restaurant. So you know your level until it comes to women. When it comes to women, then all of a sudden you're entitled. It's like, yeah, we want things that are better or sometimes that we don't qualify for, but men know their fucking limits because you're not walking into that dealership because you'll get laughed out. Thank you for the super chat. Black Lexicon says, I'll buy that for $1. Nice is such a controversial term to me. I never feel like a nice person. It's too soggy. Just respectful. Agree.
That comes back to what Tristan says, the difference between nice and decent, I guess.
Civil, yeah, just
civil.
being,
like and I get it. Like I said, when I was a younger man, I said, I'm a nice guy, but you should be. That's something that it's not something that should get you a reward. That's something that, but we're taught that, the good looking or whatever, the good looking guys are the a-holes or I'm better than him. I'm a nice guy. These women want all these a-holes, but it's just not that simple. It's not that simple. And nice isn't a key to getting someone out of your league, basically, because there's plenty of nice guys in that ladies' league too.
Yeah.
Or so yeah.
Yeah. So Mr. Justin claims Tina Knowles never respected him to begin with. That's interesting. You don't think she ever respected him in the beginning? That's interesting. Maybe not.
Now, was this the fluff?
This was the fluff. Thank you for the super chat, Haran to Marco. Haran says, I have a keen sense of pitch as a musician. I listen to the sound of a woman's voice when she addresses me. What's the pitch? Is it joyful or resentful? Men speak through action, women through sound. Yeah, that's true. Our voices change depending on who we're talking to greatly. Like when I'm on a business call, I sound completely different than when somebody calls and I'm smitten. So that's very true. That's another good cue. What does her voice sounds like? What her voice sounds like when she speaks to you, right? That's another great cue. There are cues, guys. There are cues. We're gonna learn you up today. Yes, they will. Teenagers, boy, they never stop eating. Someone said, what looks are subjective to me. Says, I don't reach for mass appealing things. I like uniqueness. Okay. Mr. Justin, go eat and enjoy. Bon appetit. You're probably going to come up when we've changed the subject. Because tonight's topic is Carlee Russell charged, but why the outpour of excuses? Carlee Russell charged, but why the outpour of excuses? What excuses? Pray tell, Jen. What are they saying about Miss Carlee? Well, I put on the flyer. I put on the thumbnail things that I've been hearing. since this news broke. And this is what they've been saying. Let me know, chat, if you've heard anything like this. Do women lie? Let me know, chat. Do women lie? So these are some of the things I've been seeing. I've literally seen all these comments. Okay, these are the diversions. What about white people that lie? Hope they keep the same energy when white people lie. Well, her boyfriend cheated and she was just trying to get his attention. If he was a better boyfriend, she wouldn't have been pushed to do what she did. Okay, yeah, women lie, but men lie too. Wait a minute, it has to be mental illness. It gotta be mental illness. You should be helping her, not locking her up. I mean, I've heard more excuses for Carlee Russell than a bisexual man caught with a bag full of dildos. Okay? I really want to know why the outpour of excuses. What is going on? And by the way, a white woman did get locked up for lying about being kidnapped by 2 Hispanic women. We spoke about her recently. So white people get locked up too? I know, shocking. Yeah.
That's so ridiculous. Oh my God, man. I don't know. It's maybe it's people taking sides, but I don't get it, man. And listen, we see it every day. You know, what about this politician? What is he doing? Why is it that? So we see it even in the top. It's just it's such a bad deflection. And yes, white people lie, but what does that have to do with anything? I don't get it. What does that have to do with this story? This lady, if she wanted to get attention from her boyfriend, which is, I guess, the story, that's the reason. There's a lot better ways to do it than to
kidnap yourself.
Well, to kidnap yourself, say that there's you're rescuing some kid, and then you got kidnapped, and then you get the resources involved to go search, and you get it all, and now suddenly it blows up, which I'm not sure if she knew it was going to blow up, because she probably thought they would ignore it. She was a black woman. She probably didn't think it was going to get all that big. But when it comes to kids, usually, it can get big. I don't get it. I don't get people coming to the defense of this crime. I don't understand it. So what say you?
I think it's the environment we're in now, where every time a news story breaks, everybody gets super, super silly and ridiculous about it. Like, I mean, Jamie Foxx couldn't even have a freaking cardiac arrest, a brain aneurysm, without him being cloned, and the government cloned him for us. And that wasn't really Jamie. They're cloning the comedian because that's what the government needs, is 2 Jamie Foxxes, or a fake Jamie Foxx.
Do you really think that the people that are spreading this believe that? I mean, I have a hard. First of all, you'd have to clone them and age them. You'd have to get them up to the same age, That's why I'm like, are these people? I think some people believe it, but I really believe that the people putting it out there are just like, they're trolling. So let's see if we get this one out. Let's see how many people grab onto this. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
So
but you'll always find, when it comes to the whole, you'll always find the one person, whether it's on the, whatever race they're in, whatever group they're in, they're always going to point to some other, what about this that happened over here? Well, as if that's a pass. That's somehow a pass to what this person did. And it's not. Even if someone else gets away with something, it's still not a pass because that's not how the world works. The world doesn't work where, okay, this person over here got away with it, so now this person over here should get away with it. There's nobody keeping score. It's all an individual case.
Mhm.
And if someone gets away with it, lucky for them. But for the most, and I get there's some, listen, we have a history in this country, and I understand where there were all white juries that let people get away with heinous crimes. I'm totally aware of that. But that still doesn't mean that you're going to let somebody else go. It doesn't get, it's not, that doesn't mean you're necessarily going to get the same treatment on the other end, especially today. That's not an excuse. If you committed a crime, you should expect to pay for it, whether you can get away with it or not. Whether someone else got away with it, you should expect that you're going to get charged, and that's what I think. But
thank you for the super chat, Fahim Jackson. Fahim Jackson says, "I love when one ethnicity judges the other than and are wrong. I like to sit back and just see how we stay stuck on our points, which exposes our disingenuous standpoints initially." I love when one ethnicity judges the other and then are wrong. Interesting. So I think with the Carlee Russell thing, I think we're going to see more and more of that. I think we're going to see cases arise and people are just going to go full retard. Remember the movie? Like never go full retard. I think we're going to see more of that. I mean, people were, adamant that Jamie Foxx is cloned. I mean, they're throwing up pictures of comparisons and they're comparing his hairline and his nose and his chin. Like, I really think they believe it, no saying.
yeah, I know, but it's not unique. I mean, Elvis was still running around alive, and he should be over 100 years old by now.
They've seen Tupac. They've seen Elvis.
So I mean, this isn't a new phenomenon by any means, but it's funny when there are people in this country, and I think we're different. I think the people that I think there's a certain, and I'm not saying this isn't left, right, Democrat, Republican. This isn't political. There are people out there that are more likely, just because we're different, to believe in things that are, they just don't break it down. For me, I try to break things down logically, and things don't always make sense. So I'm always like, yeah, that just doesn't make sense. But not everybody, and it's not a knock against other people. People are just different. Brains operate differently. That's the way I was born. I break things down. I'm like, yeah, but if he was cloned, he would be a baby. How would they get him up to 40 years old and stick him in there, or 55 or whatever? And, and what about this? And what about, that's just for me, it's too far-fetched to buy. But there are people that suspend disbelief, I guess, is the best way to put it.
I mean, they said
a lot of them are religious.
Yeah, Mitch McConnell, when he got stuck the other day? People were saying about that. Oh, well, see, he's programmed and it was breaking down. And that's what happened. He got stuck in the AI. And I'm like, wow.
Anybody that says that is not in the medical, doesn't go on calls for people that are having issues.
Right. I mean, welcome, Mr. Justin. How are
you? Good evening. Much better now, Mr. Justin.
Good evening to you. Good to see you. No, saying I do have a little pushback. I think it's easy. I think it's easy to say, just devil's advocate. I think it's easy to say, well, just because this race got it, because let's just ring the fucking bell and just get into it.
Go for it.
Get it over with.
Get it over. If we know what the fuck we're talking about.
Bing, bing, bing. Okay? Let's see that lady.
You want to see her? You miss her?
Yeah. I love it.
I mean, if anybody ever looked racist, she got that pink going that George got. Black, white, right? Because this is the issue. It's not Asian, it's not Latin, it's not Indian, it's not Native. It's black, white. America is black, white, black, 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 black. So black people are focusing, like, They never say, well, keep that same energy when it comes to natives, or keep that same energy when it comes to Latins. They say keep that same energy because white people commit crimes and they get away with it. That's what the fuck they're talking about. They're hell bent, they hang off the nuts of what happens or doesn't happen to white people. That's what it is. So when you say, even if that person got away with it, doesn't mean that you should, right? But don't you think that the reason why they're saying keep the same energy is because these people are committing crimes and getting away with it? So they're like, well, why can't we get away with these crimes? Isn't it easier said than done? Like, hey, just because they got away with it doesn't mean you should. When we talk about the prison pipeline and more black men are arrested or they get more time than white people, what have you, what do you say to that?
Well, what I say is I understand. Yeah, I totally understand what you're getting. What I'm saying is these people over here should be getting away with it. The people on this side shouldn't be getting away with it. So don't bank that just because they did, you're going to get the same treatment, because there's different courts, different prosecutors, different judges, different juries. So, I always like to bring up, and this is
OJ?
Yes. Yeah, I always like to bring up OJ. And the reason I bring it up is I remember when that happened and I was pissed off, and I was dating a black woman at the time. And she said, well, now white people know how it feels. And that hit me a certain way. And I was like, but later on in life, I was like, damn it, she was right. That shit happened to black people all the time. I didn't think he was good. I didn't think he was right to get away with it. Mm-hmm. Right. But I understood, once I chewed on what she said, I understood where she was coming from. But again, just because OJ got away with murder doesn't mean I can go kill somebody and get away with it and say, well, they let OJ go. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying they all should be prosecuted. And when it comes to what's going on politically, I'm very straight. If someone on this side did something wrong, prosecute them. If someone on but don't sit there and point what about trying to give someone a pass is all I'm saying. But
when it comes to our political system, our judicial system, and the law and how we deal with things like this, I do get that. But when I was listening to just the in general, when someone brings up something that happens to black people, and then another thing, say, well, what about this over here, like white people doing this, instead of addressing the point, that's a thing, just a little like education lesson. That's the tu quoque fallacy. And basically when you, like, someone brings up a point and then you can discredit them, it's like a form of ad hominem attack where you discredit them for being hypocritical, right? So it's like an example is like, Alice advised us to exercise regularly, but Alice doesn't exercise, therefore her recommendation is rejected. But that doesn't mean her claim humans should regularly exercise. That doesn't mean it's a false claim, right? It's a true claim. So, but that's what it is. It's just basically like whataboutism. And so if you're ever like an argument, don't bring any of that stuff up. Don't stay focused on the point and address it that's been addressed to you, and try to defend that position if you can.
Black Lexicon. Yeah, I watched the press conference. Cops seemed pretty perturbed. And they were saying that she's facing 2 misdemeanors and some fines. And, the top cop was kind of like, yeah, we're not happy that that's all it's going to be. And we're going to do our best to talk to the higher up. So when someone makes a claim like this, a false claim like this, that, we can throw the book at them, right? I'm paraphrasing, but basically we're saying, yeah, I'm angry at it, just like you guys are angry at it. It's just 2 misdemeanors and some fines that she's going to have to pay. She already bonded out. Okay. Her mugshot, this is her actual mugshot. She looks lovely. You know what I'm saying? She looks pleasant. She doesn't look stressed to me. I mean, that's the actual mugshot right there we're looking at. Yeah. So she went in and then bonded out immediately. She doesn't look worried. That's not a worried face to me.
Well, because she didn't really commit any crimes. All she did was bullshit the cops. She trolled the cops and had them spend, I don't know how much money or man hours or whatever.
They said they were still calculating.
Right. And so it's It's offensive in that way. It's like, come on, this is a utility that a lot of people depend on in emergencies, and here you are using it for your troll purposes.
Right.
Like, there's got to be something for that. Now, I'm wondering what her motivation is, because I don't think it was just trolling. Like, I would say that there might be like a little screw loose. I'm not saying padded cell screw loose, but just something that's a little bit loose. Because what could possibly be your motivation to concoct such a wild story? Like,
Well,
with
the
the trucks
rumor,
and then like the defeating her stuff, and like, come
the
on.
room, the rumor is that she did that to get the attention of her boyfriend, to make it look like, oh, and I listen, you know, I dealt with someone that would pretend to be sick to get my attention, to not get me to
Yeah,
break
but
up with them.
this is out there. This is bad for the brand for ladies. If that's all it was.
Well, seeing you say that, they did at the press conference, they did ask one of the detectives, going forward, is this going to be bad for Black women specifically? When there's a claim that one of them missing, and the cop was quick to say, no, absolutely not. We treat all these 911 calls the same. We never not
Yes, of
done something
course.
or done something because of a person's race. So he was quick to clear that up. But they spoke about all the people that went out there looking for her, not just the police, not just the money that was wasted by the police department, but the people that were out there. And he mentioned that some of the people out there looking for her were people who've had their children kidnapped and never came home. Right. So that's absolutely awful. So it's not just the police department doing their job. It's people who lost children that were out there hoping to find her. They were out there in the yellow vest, looking for this girl's body, or her alive, or what have you.
Yeah, I mean, that's the cruelty of the lie. Again, I don't think she thought out that. I don't think she thought it out that far. And whatever the law says she should get, and if she can plead for a lesser plea, I'm okay with whatever she gets, even if she were to just get probation. But for people to make excuses for it, as in she shouldn't have any blowback because other things around, that, like he was saying, the whataboutism. I'm over that, and I'm over that on all levels. I'm over that. You talk about, you talk about January 6th when that first came out, and the whataboutism is, what about the riots in Chicago or something like that? Okay, but we're not talking about we're talking about the attack on the Capitol. We're talking about trying to overthrow a government.
It's gotta, you have to do something, because you don't want to set any kind of precedent. Like, if let's say this was just trolling, okay, you don't want to make any moves. You want to make some sort of move to say, hey, you're not allowed to do this. A friend of mine actually got into some trouble. Well, not really, but like, he's like an avid gamer, and when you're deep in the gaming scene, there's a lot of shit talking. There's a lot of like messed up stuff that happens online, and he pissed off some prepubescent boy, and the boy is like, all right, I'm gonna fuck with you, and hacked where his IP was coming from, and then called the police to his house, saying that there was a domestic abuse situation going on. He can hear a woman screaming from inside the house, and the cops came, and he was like, what the fuck? And the little kid was like, ha ha ha, like, so that shit happens. Like, this happened like 2 weeks ago.
Well, there was a swatting where a man ended up dead.
Yeah, I saw that.
The cops shot him because they did the same thing, sent them over there, and he walked out he didn't have anything in his hand. He didn't have a weapon in his hand, but he walked out and was like, what's going on? And they shot him and killed him.
And it was the wrong house they went to. It wasn't even the right. The guy didn't mean to call it to that person's house. It was wrong.
Correct.
He meant to call. I thought that comment. Go ahead and read that.
Tristan says, or how many of those whites can't afford the lawyer who knows the judge's family, plays basketball with the prosecutor, etc., compared to the poor Black man who has a public defender with a bad win rate? Yep, that's absolutely true as well. I do think that, the justice system has a lot to do with class and money, of course. I mean, OJ filleted a white woman, and he walked out of there like, wasn't me. And it's sad even that was perturbing. That was disturbing because seeing that as a win when a woman was so brutally murdered was disturbing to me. Like, I get the justice system is wonky. I get it's about who has money. I get that, judges may be racist. I get all of that. But for your win to be a woman being butchered and somebody walking out of the courtroom, that was disturbing. But it reminds me of what Haran says. You're not anti-suppression and oppression. You're anti being the one who's suppressed. But soon as you have the power, you've proven to be just as vicious.
Well, this is what I think about that, and I think that it's not so much. I mean, listen, if people would have looked at the photos and made it more of a personal thing, they might have had a different opinion about it. But it was a Jersey win, right? Like, the white people were pissed off. The black people were cheering in the street. Not everybody, but the black people were cheering in the streets. And it was all about, and so when you look at it, it's like, well, okay, but it shouldn't be 1 for 1. But when you look at the murderers of Emmett Till getting off in an all white jury, it was a win in that sense. I don't think they were taking it, they weren't putting the human face on it. It was just a scoreboard. It was like all these years.
Well, I saw those pictures. Black people, I saw Nicole's pictures.
I mean, and let's not forget Ron Goldman too.
I saw her death photos.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Most people didn't see that. You got to throw in celebrity. OJ, he's well known, rich. Mm-hmm. And yeah, if you're rich and if you're a celebrity and rich, you have a better chance in the court says. There's no doubt about it. The more money you have, the better chance you have of getting away with things or getting a fair, or even getting a fair trial. But I hate that I say I understand the emotional reaction, even though I don't agree with it, because it forever has been the other way, where people have gotten away with killing black people or people of color. Mm-hmm. And even today, I mean, look, let's talk about, you can talk about Trayvon Martin and the sides people pick, because they're not really thinking about the person. They're thinking about, race, basically, is what it comes down to. They're thinking about what team they're on, and,
the larger conversation.
And it really pisses you off when they show, I hate the fact when they show Trayvon Martin, and people were pissed off because they showed him with his nice picture. They didn't show him with the hoodie on. I'm like, well, what difference? Even if he has a hoodie on, that doesn't mean he's a bad person. They want to. The Fox would show the dangerous looking, even though if you can even call him dangerous looking, he's a kid, with the hoodie on, and then maybe MSNBC would show the one where he looked like he was 15 or 14. That shouldn't even made a difference, but people want to. Yeah, but people want to take sides.
I have to agree with JB. JB says if Carlee was considered ratchet and from a poor background, nobody would care what happens to her. I agree with that, because we look at Sha'Carri Richardson, the track star, just the way she looks and walks and talks, and all she did was smoke weed, and they were throwing that girl on the coals. Mm-hmm. It was like, get the fuck out of here, and you're this, and you're that, but it's her look, right? So I agree with that. I don't know. The rumor is that Carlee comes from money, or at least her parents are not struggling. She's some spoiled girl. She wanted to get attention from the boyfriend. He had been cheating on her. There was some DMs exchanged between her and another woman. So it sounds to me like she didn't, like you said, No Saint, she didn't plan it out, did some stupid shit, Googled a couple things on her phone. She sounds like an idiot to me. Like, she's Googling Taken. She's Googling, can I pay for an Amber Alert? She's Googling, what's the age range for Amber Alert? She sounds like an idiot, like a fucking bimbo. And then doing it on her phone. And then going to buy snacks. And then
just in case.
Just in case she does get kidnapped.
It's like, well, I don't know how long this is going to take, so maybe I should go with the granola bar.
And that's what she got, granola bars. Mm-hmm. And Cheez-Its. And the funny thing is that she probably didn't know how long it was going to take. She was like, okay, that's it, which is why she ended up walking back home. Like, all right, you guys aren't finding me. Let me come out of the hiding place. I'm hungry. I'm sure she ate as soon as she got home. Cheez-Its are not going to do it.
Housewives is on in an hour.
Exactly. I got to get back. And by now, the boyfriend knows I'm missing, and he's really worried.
The
Mhm.
lesson is don't spoil your women. Don't
The
spoil.
lesson is
Don't spoil your daughters. Don't spoil your women.
you can spoil the boys.
Hey, for to quoque,
Well,
On God.
touche.
stay
On God.
on topic.
Well, touche. Black Lexicon says it was the fundamental premise of innocent until proven guilty that was on trial in the OJ case. The saddest part of it, Nicole and that man was an innocent bystander, adding insult to injury.
Which just goes to show you, like I thought about that. Like Ron Goldman wasn't a small guy. I mean, he had a, he worked out and everything, and I guess he knew karate, whatever. It wasn't a good look for people that are taking karate. OJ was in his 40s and handled them. I mean,
But I'll be honest,
just goes to show you an athlete is a step above even at 40.
Listen, but there's also the element of fucking surprise. It's dark. You're not thinking you're gonna get filleted on that night.
That's true. That's true.
The element of surprise is a motherfucker, okay?
Yeah.
And we don't know where that first stab wound was.
No.
Sure.
Right.
Well,
like maybe in the arm, he's gonna go into defense wound. He had a lot of defense wounds.
It's probably
had a lot of defense wounds.
I imagine there was just body mass, like torso area, because that's easiest to hit. It's not easy to like cut somebody's hand. You know what I'm saying? You just go for somewhere in the back. Well, you come out the closet while their back is turned. A couple quick shots. I mean, and I've never been stabbed before. I've been cut, but I can't imagine how shocking being stabbed. Like 4 inches of metal into your body. That's really got to be shocking. So.
Right, because he could. I mean, he was a fit guy. You know what I mean? But he's probably
that doesn't matter. It's a psychological thing.
Absolutely, it's not. I mean, a chick from the Bronx would be a better, defense because she's constantly thinking, "Oh, what the fuck?" You know what I mean?
Exactly.
A white guy that hangs out with people in Brentwood. He's like, he probably got stabbed a couple times before he realized what was going on. Like, oh, you cut me.
Yeah, but at that point, it's too late.
Absolutely. But again, baby boy fought because he had massive defense wounds. So he was fighting. But after getting cut and the shock and bleeding and holy fuck, I'm gonna die. Like, just a horrible, horrible death. And I didn't see his morgue photos, but I did see Nicole's morgue photos, and he filleted that woman, like filleted her.
From what I remember, like her head was damn near off her body. So.
Yeah, absolutely. That cut was they were angry.
Yeah.
He was angry.
That's an angry cutting right there.
He was angry.
Like, bitch, I'm gonna remove your head from your torso.
Yes, off if I can get her. And her her spine was nicked. Let's not forget that. That's how deep it went. The spinal cord was nicked with the knife. That's how deep it was. Also, going back to something you said, No Saint, but we look at Jodi Arias. She stabbed her man 39 times. He wasn't a small guy. She was small.
That's true.
She was tiny.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Element of surprise. And he's naked. You know what I'm saying? He's like,
That's why time only went up when we go to sleep.
As you should, because there have been times I've been asleep next to a man and I'm like, oh, I know where the jugular is, you bitch.
No, I woke it up and
man.
caught her like looking at me. I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh, you woke up to one of those.
What are you doing, girl? She's like, oh, you're so cute when you're sleeping. Like, yeah.
Oh, real cute.
Baby, go get the shackles.
Hey. Oh my Vegatron, he wants blood. He says she needs 3 years in prison. Oh my Vegatron's not having it.
But for a prank, nobody was really hurt.
Just feelings, I guess. Just feelings were hurt.
Yeah. We can't be throwing people in jail for feelings. We're close to it. We're close to it. You made me sad. You get 3 years.
You shamed me. He shamed me.
Prison, off with their heads.
Oh my goodness. Swatting is a common practice. That's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Clips 914 says how many OJs you think are out there. Well, I mean, I just saw a documentary. Listen, I saw here's the thing. There are cases that get national, international recognition. But I saw a case the other day, no lie. Big old black man, okay? Sexually assault one girlfriend, sexually assaulted another strange woman, and he kept slipping out of the court system. They kept letting him go. His last crime, and by the way, his girlfriends were white. So you
Which is not
must
enough
understand.
evidence.
Okay, right. It wasn't enough evidence, or there was some loopholes or something. He got out twice. Big old black man assaulted white women. Last crime he did, he murdered his current girlfriend. She was a track star. You can Google this, no lie. She was a track star in her college. He murdered her. She didn't want to be with him anymore. She started hearing things and finding things out. She started investigating and was like, oh, whoa, you were a criminal and you assaulted other women. She wanted no parts of him. He murdered her. So, so when you say how many OJs you think are out there, plenty. It's just they don't make national news because they're not celebrities. But
Right.
lots of people, listen, go to any inner city disenfranchised neighborhoods. You think the Catholics are just molesting people? There's a lot of uncles and aunts in the hood that are walking around free and hitting the barbecue annually, and they molested 2 or 3 kids in the family. So I mean, this goes across the board. It's not just black people that get locked up and white people that get away with crimes. Trust me, I'm into this shit. I've seen a lot of stuff, and I was shocked. I was like, this big old black man assaulted 2 white women, nothing, slipped through the cracks, and then he killed the third. I was like, how did he get away with this shit? But he did. That's like going back to what you said, No Saint. States are funny, juries are funny, laws are funny. If you can't hold them, you got to let them go. If there's not enough evidence,
Yep.
like the law is funny.
I think with something like assault, like what the first 2 were assault.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
sexual assault was one, and then another one was some sort of like fight or something.
right, which doesn't produce a lot of evidence, like concrete evidence. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I go somewhere with a woman, she comes back pissed off. She says I sexually assaulted her. What evidence does she have if I haven't left any marks on her body? She's just saying it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But with a murder, yeah, all right, there's a dead body. Now you've got motive. You've got supposed history of doing similar things. So there it is. But if it's some hearsay, then they really don't have anything to go on.
Right. Yeah, but he was a complete psychopath. He just slipped through the cracks. Mm-hmm. It's interesting. Oh, my Vegatron is black, and he's like, drag her across the coals, give her 3 years, and we have a white man here who's saying, I don't care if she goes to jail or not. I think socially she's been punished. I'm just terrified she continues nursing and has access to medications and people's veins. Well, she got fired. She wasn't. She worked at a spa, I believe, like some sort of. She wasn't like an RN.
She wasn't medical. Yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't like an RN.
Yeah,
is there like a court-ordered psych eval or something like that? That's something. Is there a court-ordered psych eval?
I'm sure after they get the trial started, because she bonded out. So
yeah. Sure I wouldn't doubt she gets a plea bargain.
I don't think she's nuts. I think she's stupid.
And gets like probation. And I really, at the end of the day, if she doesn't have any criminal record, she's probably going to get probation. And I don't have a problem with that, because we do have to put a difference between someone who keeps on doing crime after crime and someone who messed up, maybe had a bad judgment, wasn't thinking straight, whatever the case may be. You got to give those people a little bit a chance, have a more lenient sentence, unless it's something crazy like murder or,
Right. But maybe in this case, they would evaluate her and say, all right, listen, you need to go into an institution for a month or something like that, or like a psych ward, or you to like go mandatory therapy or something like that for an extended period of time, something along those lines, because this is like abnormal behavior. Like, this is not normal stuff. So
I would like to see her get and I agree with Tristan, right? As a juror or as a judge or as whatever, a DA, that mugshot would reflect to me.
yeah,
If I was sitting, on the bench and that shit came across my desk, I was like, oh, okay, I got
that was
something.
like a yearbook picture.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So I agree with Tristan. He says the mugshot proves she literally she's spoiled and doesn't know what accountability looks like. Listen, no saying that Jesus knew what he was doing. Not putting me on a fucking court bench because I'm like, y'all thought Kamala was bad. Everybody fucking go. And it'd be the slightest thing. You wore pink. You think this is funny? You wore pink. I'm telling you, he knew what he was doing. Not putting me there. But what I would like to see is a shitload of community service in a facility where, I don't know, something to do with missing people. That's what I would like. So she can be in the thick of what she was pretending to be. I don't think she should go to prison, right? It's a stupid prank. It's a prank gone wrong. These kids are doing a lot of stupid things nowadays with these, I'll do this and this will get me attention and clout. But looking at that picture, I'm like, you're not taking this seriously. So I'm going to take it serious for you. And you're going to do a shitload of community service. And you're going to do it with people that are disenfranchised and hurt or, missing or cleaning up slop in a morgue from, or something. I would stick her somewhere so she knows what the other side of life is like.
No, I agree with that. I think definitely community service, some education on kidnappings and things like, I mean, that's a good idea, but definitely I don't think any jail time. I don't think.
Yeah, she doesn't need to be in jail. I don't think. A psych eval and some community service. YouTube press. Was that blade 10 inches? It wasn't. Was the OJ blade 10 inches? That's interesting. Was it 10?
I'd have to look that up.
He said a 10-inch blade helped, I'm sure. Yeah.
It's amazing that we're still talking about OJ, and that was like 1990. That's like 20.
Crazy.
Was it 20? Wait.
It was so long ago.
20, almost 30 years ago?
It was so long ago he got to write a book. Well, if I did it.
Right. That wasn't smart. This is how I would do it if it was me.
No. JB says jail time. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and I don't know if you know, he's on Twitter. And he's on Twitter giving opinions on all kinds of stuff.
Listen. Well, he lives out here, so there are sightings of him every now and then.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. JB says jail time is just costing the public more money. Give her probation, a hefty fine, and community service at a homeless shelter. Homeless shelter is too nice. She needs something worse than that. Let me look in my file. I'll get back to you. Put her somewhere. Clean up slop. Maybe a modern elder says, I think Carlee will do some time. I'm in Alabama and people are pissed.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what he's saying. But that's not how it works. People can be pissed. That's not how it works in law. The sentence there's guidelines. So, whether the community's pissed or not, if it says first time offense, and especially if it's a plea deal, which I imagine it would be, it's going to be probation, no matter how pissed people are.
Make asylums great again. Rod D says, yeah, she got to learn.
Well, Alabama's a red state. So with conservative,
redneck state.
Uh-oh.
A redneck red state. That's like double. That's like 2 shotgun racks in the truck. So I think because of that, the pissed offness might be,
might have more of an effect.
Yeah.
Than like a New York or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
We shall see, because the white woman, she got jail time, right? Didn't she get jail time? The one that said 2 Latin women kidnapped her. She was committed. She had the ex-boyfriend brand her and cut her hair. She was committed.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
What did he brand her with? Like a hot fork or something?
So I don't know what the thing was, but he branded her. I don't know what the hell he branded her with and cut her hair. She was committed.
That is committed.
Yeah.
Was it on her face?
No, because I
Oh.
saw her walking back and forth from the court. Papini. Yeah, that's her name. Papini.
Probably somewhere like indiscreet, you know,
Yeah.
like where no
Like,
one
look,
would see it.
the
You know, like
Latin
when a girl
ladies.
gets a tattoo they don't want her parents to see.
Right.
She get it like on the top of her foot, you know, along the underwear line. It's like that's where she got it. She got it like on the
got it in there.
armpit. She's like, they branded me in my armpit. It's like, oh really? They didn't just take it to your face, right? They went for the
Or
armpit.
your forehead or your chest. I knew she lied about having 2 Latin women, which were kidnapped. They would have had her cleaning and shit and doing shit. They not just got,
That's
hey,
so,
let's brand you.
that's so random. Like 2
Random
Latin
as
women.
fuck.
Like,
She didn't understand them because they were speaking Spanish. Like, girl,
yeah.
you should have just went with the traditional. It was black men. It was black men. Like,
Yeah, like
2
why
Latin
Latin?
women.
This is so left field.
If I was a detective, I would have been like, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. Like that little boy, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. Oh my goodness. YouTube press says, so Tawana Brawley, y'all remember her? Of course we do. We're that old. She's a nurse now. Carlee's a nurse. What's with the nurses faking kidnappings? Well, she's not a nurse. Carlee's not a nurse. She's some spa chick, and she got fired. They fired her quick, fast. Now what will be interesting is if her penalty is too harsh. Here comes Tamika Mallory.
Yeah, she was 8 days ago, New York Post. Carlee Russell fired from Alabama spa job. Yeah, she's not a nurse.
Okay.
Yeah, see, it's just that she had on like a lab coat, and people were like, "Oh shit, she's a nurse. She's a fucking shit."
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Tamika Mallory is a joke. She's a joke. Whatever. All right, guys, we are coming to a close tonight. Listen, the jewels that were dropped on tonight were good.
Yeah. I mean, we're a little short-handed, but Mr. Justin came in here and
I came through.
Hey, speak for yourself, no saint. I ain't short-handed, all right?
No, yeah, Jen's got long hands. Okay, step back. You ever see Alien? You know, like with the long heads, they got these like 10-inch long fingers. That's Jen.
What, the one that? Oh, I thought you meant aliens. The one that wraps.
Where's
around
David? By the way, I haven't seen him in a while.
David had an opportunity for a job somewhere, so our schedule and then his schedule didn't match anymore. So we bid him a very merry adieu, and I guess he'll creep back up in here one day
when he can. Okay,
one day.
All right.
Yeah, but he's very busy, and we're happy for him. And that was that. All right, guys, I did promise a thing yesterday, so I'll do one card because Mama gotta go.
Oh man,
one card.
Oh, from this game? Oh.
Yeah. I'll do one card. All right, guys.
I'm so white. I could never get it.
So who's gonna be out of it?
No, this is what we're gonna do.
Oh,
I'm gonna
it's for the chat.
Right, it's for the chat. So I'm going to throw what it is in the private chat. Mr. Justin, you can fall back.
Right, I'll try. I'll try. If I can't, I'll fall back.
Okay. And we have to act it out. Okay, guys. So the chat yesterday, I told you I would do a charade thing with you. This is called It's a Black Thing. Charades. It is literally called It's a Black Thing charades. So we're gonna act it out, and you guys have to guess what we're acting out in the chat. Okay. And we can't. Some of these we can't talk on. No Saint.
Right.
Some of them we can. Some of them we can't.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll pick a card. I'll pick something good, and we will act it out and see if the chat can get it. I'll just pick a random card. Pick a card, any card. And you guys are on a minute timer, too. So you have a minute to figure it out. Y'all ready?
Damn.
Y'all ready?
Ready.
What? Black Lexicon said we only been off for 20 minutes. We have not, sir. Shift is over. Mama gotta go. All right, so we're going to put you on 1 minute. Let me put the little timer there. You got 1 minute. Oh my God. I'm gonna just do this one. If y'all don't get this one, okay. So y'all should get this one. So I'm gonna put in the private chat what it is.
Got it.
You don't say it what it is. We'll just act it out.
Okay.
You guys see it? All right, guys. Chat, here we go. We're gonna try to give you what it is. All right. Okay, who's going first?
Well, what's the symbol?
Okay.
Okay. You could do that. No Saint.
And
What
then,
you got for the chat?
Chat's gonna have to type fast.
Right, you're gonna have to type fast. What are we talking about? What are we trying to tell you? There you go. POP got it. POP got it before the minute was over. You got
Baby
it.
boy.
You got it.
By the way, this is the international symbol for cock and balls.
Oh, okay. I
Is
did
that
the
what
wrong
that
way.
is?
I did it the wrong way.
No,
Yeah,
I just made that up now.
Oh my God. Don't see, you're about to get it started. That was good. POP got it. You guys want to do one more before we go?
Okay. Let's go for it.
Okay, we'll do one more. We'll do it. By the way, guys, starting Wednesday next week, we're all going to be together in Vegas, living together. Hit that like and subscribe because we're going to be bringing you exclusive content. We're going to be playing charades and doing all kinds of other wild shit.
What's wild is I'm going to be in Vegas from September 1st to the 4th. And I mean, it's not that close, but I'm just like a month away, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
For real.
Yeah, I'm going to be a VIP guest at a game convention. Not video games, but like game.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll try this one. This is probably going to be hard, though. All right.
Let's give it a whirl.
Give it a whirl, and then this will be the last one. It's probably going to be hard. Okay. We'll try it anyway. Let's try not to speak, though, because then they'll get it.
Oh, my God.
You see it?
Oh, man.
That's going to be a hard one, right? No, it's a category. Mm-hmm. It's a category. Let's see if I can do it. Okay, guys, pay attention. You got a minute. I'll start it.
I'm out. I don't even know.
I got nothing for that.
I don't even know what the reference is.
Oh, if you don't know the reference, then you definitely can't give the clues.
No, I have no idea.
Close. Tristan, close. Not by the grace of God. Close.
Iran's got it.
Yes, you did
it. Whoa, man.
Okay.
Whoa.
All right. So
he did it before the minute it was over. You got it, Iran.
Please, for the other white guy in the room, explain won't he do it? I don't understand.
Absolutely. So it's basically like when somebody wanted something to happen and then it happens, they feel like prayer, they prayed for it. They'll say, won't he do it? Like, won't God do it? Won't God be there for you? Won't he do it, honey? Won't he do it? That's what it means.
That is really interesting that he got that. I mean, that's yeah.
Listen, I'm telling you, it's a black thing.
Yeah. There's a lot of.
I feel like I need to purchase this game.
I mean, it's fun, and we're going to be doing this in Vegas all together. So you guys have to tune in because we'll be in person. You get to see our bodies do the whole acts. We will act as out. We got a whole box, so we're going to be doing this. We're going to be bringing you exclusive content.
So I'm just curious, like, is that like? is that like a black thing universal throughout the United States, or is that like more New York, California, or is it more
No,
California?
that one. No, that's
Alabama.
universal.
Okay.
Anyone who grew up in the church knows that saying. Could be
Okay.
New York,
Okay.
Alabama.
Maybe that's part of it too, because I grew up
Yeah.
secular. I didn't grow up religiously.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, I didn't even get the religious aspect of it.
Yes. Yeah. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Or like God is good all the time. That type shit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Haran got it. See?
That was good. I give it that is, yeah. Good clue. Good clue.
Hey, I'm a good cluer. All right.
Yeah.
You see, Lily got it
Amongst-
yesterday
yeah.
too, on point.
I know. I was like,
You're gonna need somebody. Damn, no saying. I'm gonna have to be on your team because you're gonna get dragged. If I'm not on, you're gonna get
there's
dragged.
no doubt about that. I don't know if I'm good at regular charades, so this is gonna really be difficult.
If I'm not on your team, you're gonna get dragged. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. All right, guys. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. Don't forget you can support the show. Cash App on the block with Jen once we are off. Thank you so much for the super chats. Come back mañana. We're gonna have another spicy one. Okay, the whole dress code thing is brewing, and Black people feel attacked about dress codes in restaurants. I have 2 very interesting pictures to show you tomorrow. We're gonna discuss that. We'll have the whole team back, Haran and Lily, and we will have some fun tomorrow. And don't forget. Stay tuned for our exclusive content. We coming. Vegas is coming. Mr. Justin, thank you for coming up tonight.
My pleasure.
Always great points. And we will see you guys tomorrow. It'll be Saturday, so we'll have fun. We'll keep it light. Okay? All right, guys. Love you all. Good night.
All right.
Later. Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Hit that like and subscribe for Mama, and we will see you tomorrow. And I'll do some more charades with y'all. Y'all good at this. Good night.